Hello and welcome to Was It Worth Buying? And I'm not now keeping numbers. I think we're up to about 9. Yeah, so this is Was It Worth Buying Red Dwarf on Blu-ray. Right, so was it worth buying? Yes, for me personally, straight off the bat. That's my reason behind it. Stories behind this. Obviously, this is the BBC collection. So obviously Dave has been producing Red Dwarf for the last couple of years. They did 9, that is Back to Earth. Everyone's always looking for 9, it's Back to Earth, and then they've kept on going, and now we've even got the Promised Land. And they aren't what they were. So this is the massive box set on Blu-ray. Now this normally retails at the moment about $34.99 on a sale price. Obviously I picked this up ridiculously cheap. When it came out it was ridiculously expensive. I'm talking like nearly 80 quid I think at one point. Little booklet in there. So you get 2 big collections. So that's 1 to 4 and 5 to 8. As I say, it's the first 8 seasons. I mean, look at that. I mean, they could have combust. I'm watching the Thundercats, which will be a Was It Worth Buying down the line, and like the discs are on top of disc. All of them have got, like, you know, really well packaged. I mean, Plastic City in them, man. Look at that. You know, so they've done a really good presentation, but it's a lot of plastic in their mind. I mean, even if you would think that they would even, like, cardboard cut it out a bit, you know, because that does happen a lot. So just put it out in your hands for a while. I'm a massive fan of Red Dwarf, always have been since it taped off BBC back in the day, especially with the innovation of BBC's logo. You either have little rollerblades and rolling around and stuff like BBC 2, you know, it was great comedy. And I think, like, at first, I remember being exposed to maybe season 3 or 4, and then when they reran season 1, I was like, why don't they kick them off their ship? And obviously getting the backstory of how it all began. And, you know, for years I watched it, loved it, and then I think it changes when they don't film it in front of a live audience. And then I remember being big hype for when they brought it back and brought Kansky back, but then Chris Barry went off to do Tomb Raider and stuff like that, and sort of not kept up with it. I don't have TV. I mean, every time I try to use the TV downstairs, Emmerdale's are stored on it, so it's not something I like thrive after, but I will watch them if they're on. Funny story as well, Danny John Jules actually appears in one of my music videos, Laconia vs the Tournament. Unfortunately I've never got to meet him before, but again with this I have so much love for Red Dwarf. Met Holly, the girl version of Holly. She has appeared in one of my tours. I think it was the Gateshead Comic Con, I think it was. But when it comes to the box set, right, it looks alright. BBC don't do a lot of Blu-ray. Fawlty Towers has recently came out, but they haven't really bothered with Only Fools and Horses yet. Not saying they're not, but like if you look at even a Line of Duty Blu-ray box set was well behind the DVD box set coming out of 1 to 6. And they just don't seem to chase Blu-ray, BBC. So BBC really needs to back the format as well. Revisiting it, all 8 seasons, those ones I hadn't seen, because if you look at when Red Dwarf came out on DVD, you had they brought them out in little slim editions, didn't they? They can now get just the shows box set, where you probably talk about 20 quid for, again, 1 to 8, and it's just the shows, because that's it, because you don't get the smeg ups and all that kinds of stuff. Now if you look around the other rooms and stuff, when you see the massive barricade of VHSs stacked, you'll see Red Dwarf hidden within there. Red Dwarf's really good for smeg ups and stuff like that. But what I found really good, now going back to, I've got a handful of the DVDs floating around, never getting the full thing, because you think of that, if you're paying maybe $14.99 for the DVD box set of 1 season, and they were bringing them out, and you like get them in the collection, and it's just like the omnibus, you wait for someone to finish, you know what I mean. One of the things I enjoyed, but also took a bit of a dislike into, was when I was watching them with the audio commentary tracks, and I watched this probably through lockdown 3, and the banter was brilliant. The amount of insight the cast bring in it, and the amount of cast, it's almost like it's been planned, that all the cast is there, they come down, they're sitting watching it, and then obviously Norman's in it one bit, and then the other Holly comes in, and they get all the cast are there, and you get to like hear some amazing stories of like how they made it, when they made it, how they would travel, where they would go, how they would do it, why cast members left, why, what happens. There was a brilliant burn, absolutely brilliant burn by Danny John Jules, because Craig Charles is just like, because in the height when I was like Red Dwarf was back on TV, not only was Craig Charles in Red Dwarf and come back to being Red Dwarf, he was in Robot Wars and Captain Butler, and not many people seen Captain Butler. I did. I seen Captain Butler, and Craig Charles says, "Oh, I killed him in Captain Butler," and Danny John Jules just turned around and goes, "Captain Butler nearly killed your career." I burst out laughing. I think I nearly spat a beer over my computer. The problem is, with listening to it, Chris Barry is absolutely hilarious. Danny John Jules is brilliant. Craig Charles came off to me of like not having much love for the fans. And I know Gally's met him and stuff like that, and Gally had great words to say about him, because Craig Charles has mint DJ compilations and, you know what I mean, tours around doing the soul grooves and all that kind of stuff. But he was getting, and there's a lot of dig at the fans, and like, when you have 8 seasons and they're all the way through, you can kind of pick up on some boredom bits, especially when it's not their scene and stuff like that. And like, that was very fucking interesting. Again, if you just got the DVD, you wouldn't get that. It's also got the American cut. I think each disc is packed with additional stuff. So you've got the episodes, deleted scenes, Smeg Ups. So Smeg Ups, that was its own standalone VHS, is on disc 2, but that's a DVD. I should have pointed that out. There's a launching Red Dwarf. Is that my phone? Radio. Sorry about that. Disc 2, Smeg Ups, Season 2. Alternative Personalities, Red Dwarf, A to Z documentary. So like every Blu-ray, like they're all on there, includes the commentaries, and then it has a DVD counterpart. So all the special features aren't on DVD, but Back from the Dead documentary, Smeg Ups, Burning Rubber feature, how you got that, the effects. It's fucking jam-packed. And like, if you look at the production of it, how many discs? And there's even a bonus disc of the Body Snatcher plus that. I don't think I even watched that. Body Snatcher, I probably might watch that now. I've totally forgot about that, so I'll put that to the side actually. But if you look at how much they put plastic into that, and like, you kind of think, well, like the modern days, that would come normally flat packed, cardboard packed, you know, ones that wouldn't survive. So was that worth buying? Yes, if you're a Red Dwarf fan and it's the classics. It does go a bit downhill after 7, I think, or maybe 6 when they lose the commentary tracks, but revisit it and just have it there in your collection. It's made of recycled cardboard, so as well as there's so much plastic in it, even though it just sits on my shelf, looks like it's been battered and haggard, and it's not even like a couple of months old, that. So yeah, was it worth buying? Yes. I did say to myself, the next one I would do would be, was this worth buying? No, it fucking wasn't. But no, when I go in there and I go, right, Red Dwarf, it'll be a while before I ever revisit that, because that's the nostalgia you get from the first couple of episodes. But if you're a Red Dwarf fan and you haven't jumped to Blu-ray, as I say, it's been as low as $34.99 in recent months, and it's just class to have in your collection, especially if you want to listen to them audio comedy tracks, because there is some fucking brilliant humour in it. See you in the outtakes.
Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling?
He's the one and only outtake. There you go. Red Dwarf 2, Status Leak. Obviously just one episode on VHS. I had that for a very, very long time. I'll probably see loads more now that I've said that, but you know, there you go. I say I definitely had a couple of the TV series, but God knows where they've gone. Right. See you next time. Goodbye for now.